JimRising, and you know what? I wonder if Pokebunny could pull something off against him. Just haven't had the chance to see it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's anything can happen.
Right.
But we are going to be getting into Game 3 right away now, and it is going to be on Galactic Process. Spawning in at the bottom left position of Galactic Process. Try to proxy 3-Rax Reaper. Let's see if he gets creative this time. Give it up for Team Ascension Pros, Pokebunny.
And this is when I would do it again. I know it didn't work out last time, but I totally would do it if I was a Terran player, which I'm not, and there's probably good reasons why, but either way. In the top right-hand corner, representing Root Gaming as well as Mexico, it is the Red Zerg, JimRising.
Yeah, we'll have to see in just a sec. Now, if you're Pokebunny, you're probably a little bit less inclined to go for something like that again after the way the previous game went.
Yeah, I think it's just funny though. There's some players that would be so stubborn to do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes it'll work. Especially in a mirror match, I think too. ZVZ comes to mind either way, but we're not going to see it. And it is going to be a hatch first and a pool, and then a standard Reaper expand out of Pokebunny, at least for the time being. There's only time we have to see what kind of build we're going to see, at least out of Pokebunny, who opted to go for a very different style of TVC, sorry. While JimRising seemed to be doing kind of the regular scout what he's doing and then react accordingly.
Yeah, it's definitely a... You still have to be reactive. It's kind of always been that way.
True.
You can get aggressive, and someone like True can try and pull that off. He'll go for, especially Hydra's been doing this recently, he'll go for like Roach Ling plays early game. But Zerg, for the most part, is always going to be that reactive race. And we are seeing JimRising going to be going into speed, so it's not any crazy response to 3-Rax Reaper that he did last game. Oh, nice. Picking off a drone right away. He body blocked the spore crawler build. That was pretty sick.
Shoved him out of the way. He said, "You don't want to make a spore crawler there. You want to die."
Yeah, you want to make a puddle.
The puddle of your own self. And gonna be a little tilting sometimes, but let's see if JimRising doesn't let that really get to him as shake it off and say, hey, it happens sometimes.
Look at this. We have a third command center build before factory from Pokebunny. And this is something you almost never see these days. 3 command center builds have kind of gone by the wayside because they give the Zerg player a lot of control.
Yep.
But to be honest, I'm happy to see it. I like it. We even see the Reaper coming in, darting in, picking up another kill. Pokebunny's very on point with these. Oh, can he get that creep tumor? Nice. That is a huge pickoff.
Go run!
Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, but he might actually... Yeah, he's going to survive for quite a bit longer. And potentially could deny the third base if he see... Oh, he just... Oh, no! JimRising with a bit of a mistake there. And nice target fire from Pokebunny. Oh my god, and the other Ling even comes to the high ground. Oh, the tilt has to be so real right now.
Oh, I understand exactly how he's feeling, but he was able to scout this command center here out of Pokebunny, and also didn't need to invest in the Overlord speed to do so. So at least he still have the gas to try to do what he wants to do, but he wants that third base pretty bad.
Yes, and he is going to be getting that down, is JimRising. Building some more Lings here, though. I'm a little bit confused by that decision. He doesn't need them to secure a third base. Oh, wow, the Reaper does get surrounded right there.
Wow, I mean, he put in the work, though. You know, that guy,
yeah.
You look at every unit's lost here, it's all him.
Yep, and he picked off 2 drones, one of which was going to build a hatchery. Or was it the 3 drones?
3 drones in total because of that, yeah.
So good. And look at that, Pokebunny picking off an Overlord right there. Going to be doing a bit of a harass with a Tankaback. Meanwhile, JimRising going to be trying to pick off the rocks to the third base. This is something that JimRising did in his WCS, or JimRising, wow. True did in his WCS match versus... Oh wow, look at that creep spread already so far out. Nicely done from Pokebunny to pick off the tumor.
Yeah.
So it's something he did in his WCS match versus Bolt, and it helped out so much. Sorry, what were you about to say?
Oh no, it's just what was happening here with the pickup and...
Yeah, some pretty nice fancy footwork, if I may.
Oh yeah. It's pickup work, you know, and you don't usually see this that often, to be honest. Like, it was kind of popular in the beginning of the beta and even maybe at the beginning of release, but just straight up tank-a-vac to harass hasn't really been as popular, especially when it's not accompanied by anything. But Pokebunny, you know, he's actually getting some work done with it. So
yeah, he's denied a lot of creep spread, and he's going to be pretty even on upgrades. Now, I think we're going to see JimRising go for roaches here. He already has gotten quite a few defensively, and JimRising's built a lot of units defensively as well. That's something that can't be overstated. Oh wow, and it's actually going to be melee, so it might be some roach laying bane.
All right, yeah, and it's not even like he got the range upgrade and then transitioned into melee. He does not have any of that, so maybe we'll favor the roaches mainly for the Ravagers, but he makes 6 more, so I would assume that he's actually going to have a decent number, and he's actually making a lot of queens as well, so wow.
Yeah,
definitely.
Looks like we're going to be seeing a big push out coming out here from Pokebunny. Going to be actually timed out before 1-1 and combat shields for him, so he has to be pretty careful about this army. Roaches can they can do a lot against it.
They really can, and this medevac is so low, so Pokebunny needs to make sure not to make that mistake of picking up with the low medevac and losing the tank immediately, because he only has 1 tank with this push here.
Wow, but he's going to get a free cancel on this 4th base, and if he gets out of here, that's a really nice trade for Pokebunny.
Especially because he took that 3rd base so quick.
Yeah, got to be really careful there about losing that medevac, though. But
yeah, I'm so worried about it. Like, every time I look at it, I'm like, he's going to pick up and then lose it immediately.
Wow, this is interesting. Pokebunny adding on another factory. I wonder if that's going to be for additional tank production, or if that's going to maybe be for a big switch into Drilling Claw Widow Mines or something.
Yeah, I would assume it would be for more tanks, right? He's seen the heavy tank, or rather the heavy roach count out of JimRising, but he doesn't know that the investment of the upgrades is going to be in melee, so whether this is kind of like, hey, look, I'm going roaches, and then he just switches it up into like a mass Ling Bling Muta. Because if you assume that it's going to be Muta, then you would be seeing the 2nd Starport as opposed to that, so...
Yeah, sometimes even a 3rd starport for that extra Liberator production.
Yeah.
But usually that's towards the later part of the game to deal with an Ultra Switch.
Yep.
But it is going to be a double expand from JimRising while he goes up to Hive Tech, so he's going to have a pretty significant period of vulnerability right here. Looks like not going to quite lose a medevac with a tank in it, but did come pretty close. And there's a lot of mobility and power to this army.
Yeah, I'm just like, send an SCV and repair that damn medevac, man. But
right? Ooh, drop it to 5th base.
Oh, just getting almost cleaned up, and it will get thwarted for the time being. And double queen here to poke away at that medevac at the same time. So I like the fact that he keeps it here. Pokebunny can't go in between the 4th, or rather the 5th and the 3rd.
Yeah. I gotta really give some credit to JimRising. His creep spread is quite exceptional. About halfway across the map on most fronts. And that's going to help out so much in his attempt to get up the Hive. And he's very nearly gotten there.
And I mean, despite the losing... Yeah, what'd you say?
Sorry, it looks like he's going to try and go for Corruptors. But there is a big fight that could potentially happen right here.
Yeah, I think Pokebunny's waiting for 2-2 in combat shields. Another drop tried to happen. It looked like a Marine that somehow like triple jumped over that rocks, or those rocks.
Pokebunny
2-2's about to finish.
2-2, yeah. And it's going to be 2-2 versus 2-1-1. That finishes up. JimRising going straight into Ultralisks and Adrenal Glands. That's going to make his forces so much scarier. But if we look at the supplies, Pokebunny's maxed out, and JimRising is not high, but we see a big attack coming in for both sides. Oh, the Baneley Shocklight getting their connections, and actually that army gets crushed from JimRising. No
Oh my
Banelings
God.
protected Marines.
That was such a good flank out of JimRising, but I don't think he realized that Pokebunny had another army right next to the other army that he had at the front. So he flanked the first army, and then all of a sudden there was another force that was just waiting.
He needed to be a lot more careful there, and he just wasn't. And Pokebunny's hitting a very, very strong anti-ultra timing. We are seeing that go up into Liberators, but we're going to see another attack from JimRising. Oh, doesn't quite get the Banelings, and they do get picked off again. And GG! Pokebunny takes it with an incredible 2 fights in a row. He just stomps through that army from JimRising.